Okay, today's Tuesday, April 3rd, and we're going to take a look at Ethereum, Dash, Monero, and Bitcoin. So continuing kind of the series we've been doing on these coins, let's take a look at Ethereum, Bitcoin pairing first. So what we have here is the 4-hour chart of Ethereum. You can see that it's in the cloud. It's TK has crossed bearish, fast moving price indicator below slow moving price indicator. The cloud is starting to narrow, which, if it does narrow and cross over and come down, that's another bearish signal. At a minimum, I would expect that Ethereum comes down and touches the bottom of the cloud. So that's going to be the .036 level. So if you were looking to open a position, you could open there. And then have a very tight stop. If it breaks below .036 by very much, then it's going to come down to the 50% retracement, which should be support. So you got two support lines in a row. If it breaks both of those support lines, I would expect it to come down and get close to, if not break through, this next level, which is .0289 in Bitcoin. The bullish case would be that it would bounce off the cloud, come through this Fibonacci level, and then continue up. So those are your two scenarios. It's looking more bearish than bullish at the moment. You also have a higher volume here. So I think that if the volume were coming down, you would say it's losing steam. But since we've got good volume with down candles, I'd say it's more bearish than bullish. Let's go ahead and take a look at Dash. So with Dash, I'll turn something off here for a moment. When Dash was still going up, I was calling it a bubble. It just went so vertical that you knew eventually this chart would materialize. The thing that I'll be straight about is, even though I knew this was coming, I haven't traded it very well. Nonetheless, I still think there's an opportunity here. So as we've covered before, it had a big TK cross. Price definitely started to fall apart. It hit resistance here, which had previously, hit support here, which had previously been resistance. Then it had a flash crash, and now it's come back up. Well, I believe that what will happen here is it's probably going to come up and retest this Fibonacci level, which would be at .058. I'm considering putting in a short at .058. I believe we'll come up, we'll at least retouch that line like we already have. .058, and then there's not a whole lot of support down to the next level. We're starting to build a new level of support here. We just don't know if it's going to last. Anything you do with Dash should have a very tight stop. Don't put a lot at risk. It still moves pretty radically, and there's a lot of things going on in the market with Bitcoin that makes things unpredictable. But my personal view is we'll come back up to .058, and then we'll come back down. We also have a Kumo twist in the cloud, which indicates further bearish momentum. So let's take a look at Monero. So there's a lot of information on this chart. I drew this chart earlier today, and I was taking a look at what I think is going to happen for Monero. So a few things I want to point out. Monero came into the Ichimoku cloud. Now, it has bounced around inside the cloud for a little bit. So a lot of times it'll go in the cloud, maybe bounce one time and come out, but this is definitely moving around inside the cloud indecisively. What I pointed out is that this line right here, .017, that's the bottom of the cloud, and it also happens to be this Fibonacci level, the 0.5. So this one line right here is two very strong support levels, and I believe that's why it's bounced off of it 3 times in a row. So if you wanted to open along, you could open it and put your stop just below the support level, .016x, whatever you want to make that. You could do that and then play for it to at least come up to hit the top of the cloud again, or hopefully you're hoping that it'll get out of the cloud and come up to here. Now what we have is we have a narrowing of the cloud in almost a Kumo twist. But again, it hasn't made a decision because the price has been so bouncy. Now, another thing to take a look at is we've had decreasing volume. And we had the last 3 candles in a row have been spinning tops. So everything about this chart says that something's about to happen for Monero. This is the bullish case. There's a lot of that the support levels held, that there's an opportunity to go up. If it breaks below support, then you know that this is going to probably have some trouble. Another thing I want to add to this chart, it wasn't on the chart we just looked at, but this is the same chart. This is the bearish scenario. The bearish scenario is that there's a descending triangle. And generally what happens with a descending triangle is it, lower lows and it tests a support line, and then eventually it just breaks that support line and drops straight down. So that's the bearish case for Monero. There's two options there. I would personally wait to see what happens. There's no reason to have to be on this trade right now. If you are in this trade and you have a concern, then you would put a stop here, just below this support level. So that's what I think what's going on with Monero. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. So this is interesting because Bitcoin's up, which I have some coins that I just long-term hold, and I do have some other coins, very small percentage, that I trade in and out of. And I'm actually frustrated that Bitcoin's up because this entire trend, I've seen where it should go. I've said this is what the chart says, but for whatever reason, it just didn't seem like that would happen, and then I didn't trade it. So let me put all those excuses aside and talk about what's actually on the chart. So what's on the chart is the cloud is getting closer to a twist. So this green passes the red, then we'll have a green cloud. Price is now above cloud, which is bullish. This cloud now acts as support. 1120 now acts as support. It had been resistance. We're at about 1140 right now. We're going to turn on a few things. It's going to get very colorful. So I also drew in a pitchfork. The price now shows that we're coming towards the top of the pitchfork. The top of that pitchfork's about 1174. If it were to continue this trajectory, it would hit that pretty quickly. I'm not saying that it will. Things that would to watch for is the Fibonacci is at 1150, and it's really, really close to that. So it may bounce off that Fibonacci, come back into the pitchfork, come back towards the cloud. Any substantial break through the Fibonacci, any substantial break through the pitchfork is just more bullish momentum, more reason for a price above 1200, maybe even the catalyst and the catapult towards another all-time high. Any other reverses, likewise, your support at 1120, support at 1100. Those are the areas you want to watch for Bitcoin. So if you don't have a position, you can wait to see if any of those levels are broken and then jump on the bandwagon. If you have a position and you want to position yourself for any radical price swings, then those are the areas you would look at. Just put a stop at 1120 or 1100, or put a sell target at 1170 or 1218. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for now. Leave me a comment or subscribe. Love to get some feedback. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments. Okay, thanks for watching.